What we're already seeing is people are reimagining and adapting to the new reality and really looking at the impact of this on their business models.
This year has been a kind of baptism of fire for many businesses, and sadly it's been very, very brutal on many.
We were not ready for it. I don't think anyone was ready for it. But as they say, if you're ready, you're late. People had to adapt fairly quickly to new ways of working. And suddenly what we saw with this largest work from home experiment is the fact that as people were distributed, how do you now create an environment, create a situation wherein you can get the best work from your employees? Not the most work, but the best work.
Most customers started to really be confronted with technology is no longer a nice to have, it's a must have to survive.
And so any company that saw digital transformation initiatives happening, in a 5-year time span has now been accelerated to become a kind of a week or month sprint program.
The world seemed to have taken a year off. And every executive that I've interacted with went into a more pensive mode. They started really rethinking how they're doing their job. And what that created is a lot more insights from our customers, realizations that they've had, things that they haven't been able to challenge before because they didn't have the time to think about whether they were appropriate.
We were initially really struggling to think how we can take offline initiatives, whether it's for our clients or even for our own business, and take them online. It's not just enough to think, oh, let's just put this on Zoom or let's put this on Microsoft Teams and that'll be fine. You need to kind of think a lot more holistically than that.
Suddenly we had to deliver content in a fashion which was virtual. We went out and did 10 different things. Maybe 7 worked, maybe 3 did not work, but that's okay. We took the 7 and actually scaled that. So we had to really then package up content into being very business oriented, very much related to outcomes, but also bite-sized, very snackable content, to simplify the messaging, make sure that we are able to deliver it in the best possible manner, to go where people are going rather than push them to go, and what I call marketing by interruption.
Something we've been really passionate about is making sure we're not trying to add to the noise, but actually throw something that's a bit more creatively driven and actually relationship based. Once you understand that this is not going to go away for a while, I think that allows you to think a lot more long term about how to add value for clients.
Now our customers are becoming very split between the ones that have an aggressive strategy forward versus the ones that are struggling to redefine their business.
I personally learned a little bit from the B2C industry, and the importance of actually keeping the tone very light in the conversation and the communication. You're not dealing with a company, you're actually engaging with people, and people at the end of the day, they are moms and dads and friends and brothers and sisters, right?
Companies that have succeeded have been those that have been able to make themselves, a people-first business, whether they were before or they've become that. I think we'll see that happen more and more over the years to come. I think offering more flexibility in how people work as well is something that we will see for a long time from here on.
A human interaction is critical to intelligence and critical to intelligent solutions. So when you don't have this between your team, the quality of what is being proposed suffered by it.
Technology needs to be an enabler and not something that stops you from achieving bigger things.
Those that have managed to survive and thrive in this environment have done so because what it's done is it's kind of thrown any pre-existing rule books out the window, and that's something that I think is really, really exciting and really, really important for businesses to be behaving not based on what has worked in the past, but based on what we think is going to be effective moving forward and what sort of new things we need to try.
If there was a silver lining to this pandemic, was the fact that companies could sort of leapfrog and bounce forward rather than just bounce back and take a step in front of their competition.
Typically you look at businesses and they're always staying 2, 3, 4 steps behind the consumer. And I think now what we're seeing is that companies are trying to stay a lot more kind of closer in line with what consumer behaviors are doing.
What we've seen is a uniform sort of recognition that the employee or the person needs to be at the center of all of your technology strategy.